Really? No, it wasn't. Gradually over a period of time, your friends were getting out of the service. And at that time, everybody that was in the service joined the 5220 Club. You know what that stands for?
No.
Well, everybody got $20 a week for 52 weeks until they could find a job or go to school or something. And that's something that the United States government did. They gave every soldier, sailor, serviceman $20 a week for 52 weeks. And he could do anything he wanted with it until he got a job and so forth. And of course, a lot of us went back to school. I hadn't finished high school, so I had to finish high school, and then I went on to college at the University of New Hampshire.
After being in the war, thinking back, do you have any regrets? And if any, could you tell us what it is?
Any regrets?
Yeah.
Did you regret it? No, I was just doing my job, like everybody else. No, everybody worked together. You know, you're aboard ship, all your shipmates were your friends. We all worked together. Yeah.
Do you still communicate with any of your friends?
Do I still see any of my friends?
Yeah.
From the service? Yes, I do. I see two of them practically every day of the week. I go to breakfast with them one day a week, and I go to my coffee club one day a week, and I go to the Council on Aging for a luncheon with two Navy friends. And I still write to one of my shipmates. I've been writing to him for over 20 years. He writes to me, I write to him. But most of them are dead now. You see, we're all 85 or more. Yeah. Hey, I got some. When are we going to be through with this?
In a few minutes.
What else do you want to know? What can I tell you?
How has the war changed you? Like,
how has the war changed me?
Oh, yeah, for your mindset, like, how you look at life from the war.
What's that again?
How has the war changed the aspect of the way you look at life?
Oh, well, war should be really controlled. It's a shame to lose all those lives in war. And many of the wars, like the Vietnam War and the Korean War, for what? You know, World War II was something else. The whole world was into it. It was your survival. But these other wars, like the war we're in right now, it's been going on for 10 years already. I think that's a waste. They should, all the countries together should work together and solve their problems without shooting one another because of their religion or their race. That's ridiculous. But it's been going on for centuries, I guess, and they did that way back a couple of thousand years ago. They're still doing it today, over in Afghanistan, in those places. Yep.
When you hear the word World War II, what's the first thing that comes to your mind?
What was what?
When you hear the word World War II, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? The words World War II, what's the first thing that comes to your mind?
When I think of it?
Yeah.
Well, you think of your freedom. You think of your freedom when you think what they had over there under Germany, under Hitler, and they controlled everything that a person did. Where in this country, you have your freedom. That's what you think of. Your freedom. You may even do and go as you want to.
If I was supposed to enlist in the war, what advice would you give me?
If I were to what?
If I choose to enlist in the war, what advice would you give me?
If you had to enter the war, what advice would I give you?
Yeah.
Well, well, it's different today. The wars are different today, but you have no other choice but do your job and do it the best you can. Whatever branch of the service you choose to be in. You must have done a lot of work to figure out what you're going to ask me.
While you were there, did you miss anything about, while you were in the Navy, did you miss anything back home?
Oh, of course. I missed my girlfriend. I missed my family. I missed good food. I missed not being shot at if I were home. Oh yeah. It's you go through an awful lot when you're in a war. Down there in the South Pacific, you know, it's terribly hot, hardly breathe, and it wasn't easy.
If you had the chance to do it all over again, would you do it and tell us why? If you said yes, tell us why, and if you said no, why not?
If I had to do it over again, what?
Yeah. If you had to do it all over again,
yes.
If you say yes, why? And if you say no, why not?
Well, I would go if I had to go. If it was another war and I was proper age and physically fit, I would go again for my freedom. Sure. Absolutely. What's up, kids?
When you got home, what was the first thing you did?
When I got home?
Yeah.
What was the what?
First thing you did. Could you tell us about the first thing you did when you got home?
First thing I did when I got home?
Yeah.
Well, I hugged my mother and father. That's the first thing I did when I got home.
And how did it feel to be back home with your parents? Could you describe that feeling? How did you feel when you came home and saw your parents for the first time in a long while?
I hadn't seen them in a long time, and it was just a wonderful feeling to be home again. I've been away for 3 years. Yeah, most of the time. And nice to get home with your family again. Yeah. And I got married in 1948. I've been married for 62 years. That's quite a while, isn't it? 62 years. To the same woman. Yeah. And I still love her. Yeah. Oh, I wanted to ask you, don't put this on the...
Well, after the war, what did you do at work as a job?
What did I do for jobs?
Yeah.
You're not going to believe this when I tell you. But I went to University of New Hampshire for 2.5 years. And I was majoring in economics, and I didn't like it. And so this outfit in New York City was going around, and you take an exam, and after you got through this exam, they could more or less tell what you were most suited to do in your life. And they said that I would be most successful and happy, now listen to this, as a mortician. You know what a mortician is?
Yes.
Takes care of dead people. And my brothers and my family couldn't believe this. But I kind of seemed that I would like it in lots of ways. So then I went into Boston and I graduated from the New England Institute of Embalming and Anatomy. And then I served an apprenticeship at a funeral home. And then I got my license as a licensed mortician. And I worked in Boston for a year or so, and then I came to Worcester, and I worked for a couple years until a person that was in the service was called back in the Korean War, and he took my job when he came home. And I'd had about enough at that point. I didn't like the hours. People die anytime 24 hours a day, and I have to go to work at 2 o'clock in the morning and 4 o'clock in the morning. And I was up all night running an ambulance, and I said, I don't want this kind of life. And 5% of the licensed morticians owned the funeral homes, and the other 95% worked for them, and I worked for them. And you don't make that much money working for them. They make all the money, the people that run the funeral homes. But you as a worker don't. And so I got out. I got out after 3 or 4 years and went into industry. And I worked in the production planning and methods. And I took an early retirement at age 60. And I moved to Cape Cod, and here I am.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
Think that's it?
Yeah.
Say